I repeat, this is not fake news. This is not making America great again. This is breaking news. Let's go.
Notified that a member of the United States military who works on the campus has tested positive for the coronavirus. The president and the vice president have since tested negative for the virus. And know how long it takes for this virus to incubate inside the body, and that you can test negative one day but potentially still have that virus inside of you. It wasn't wearing a mask. There were no people around him wearing a face covering either.
Trump and the First Lady have tested positive for the coronavirus. Again, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive.
I'm still here, and I tested very positively in another sense. So this morning, yeah, I tested positively toward negative, right? So still here. I'm still here, and I.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer live from New York. President Trump just tweeted moments ago that he and the First Lady have tested positive for the coronavirus.
President Trump has tweeted saying that he and the First Lady have tested positive.
Trump has tested positive for coronavirus along with his wife, the First Lady Melania Trump.
That he and his wife have tested positive for coronavirus. This just in the...
Yeah, he was referring to...
experience of everyone else that suffered from coronavirus is that this won't be a quick process in terms of the quarantine and the recovery, and everyone is different. This is a man in his 70s. He is known to be overweight. He has some of those conditions that the experts say make it more difficult to recover from coronavirus. That's not to say that he isn't going to make a full recovery, but coming almost exactly a month before polling day and a full schedule of events that it seems, at least at the moment, that the president will be unable to carry out any of those engagements. He was due in Florida on Friday night. Clearly that isn't going to happen at a rally, and there's a huge question mark over the rest of the campaign and possibly over the election process itself.
Peter, give us a little bit of background, because what we did know was that Hope Hicks, who's one of his closest advisors, had tested positive, which is why they were in quarantine.
Yes, and that news emerged earlier in the evening, and it was first reported by US media outlets citing their sources. It was then President Trump himself in another tweet earlier who confirmed that Hope Hicks had in fact turned out to be positive for the coronavirus. He said that was terrible, and that was when he first revealed that he and the First Lady had gone into quarantine. We know that Hope Hicks is one of the president's closest advisors. She is in his inner circle. She's a former communications chief at the White House. She then went out to work in the private sector for a while. She then returned to be this close advisor to the president, amongst many others. She travels a lot with him, twice just in the last few days, to Minnesota for a rally and for the debate in Cleveland on Tuesday night. She was part of the president's entourage. She traveled on his flight on Air Force One. She was in very close proximity with him and other key figures in the administration. The White House said earlier that contact tracing was being turned.
The United States have both tested positive for the president, tweeting out just moments ago here in the United States, 12:54 a.m., said tonight, Flotus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately.
I repeat, this is not fake news. This is not making America great again. This is breaking news.